Okay. There we go. All right. So let's start standing up. And this session is going to be with some light weights and really about bone density and tuning into the awareness of our bones. And Frank, if you watch this, thank you. All I'm going to say, let's start standing and just inhale, open up, reaching out. Today, really feeling into your bones. Exhale, let it go. Imagine that you're breathing into your bones. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, opening up. Got really weird lighting in here today because of the fog outside. Exhale, let it go. And inhale, open. And exhale, let it go. So we're moving in the vertical plane, opening up into the vertical dimension. Vertical plane, we have our sideness. When I come all the way in, it's vertical dimension. Radiating out into space. And let's interlace our hands up above our heads and just shift from side to side, shifting from one side to the other. Rib cage, lungs, pelvis, and spine just coming into awareness. Actually, it was foggy, but I can see patches of blue sky out there. And also thinking of your scapula. So your scapula here on the back of your body are over your rib cage, but they have a lot of mobility. So as we're in this movement, they're not like, it's like muscle underneath there that's connecting them, muscle and fascia. They're not like anchored on in a super stable way, right? They're there supporting the arms. So feeling into your scapula, floating over your ribs. And let's do one more exercise for them. So I'm going to just show you from the back. You probably can't see them anyway, but here would be my scapula. It's two big triangles. There's the bottom of my scapula. Tops are up here. I am going to try to mobilize my scapula as I'm circling my arms over my head. My scapulae, if we go with both of them. Letting them really move around. So they're shifting around on your back. Change direction, other way. With that, your lats are moving and mobilizing, your upper traps, your middle traps, even your lower traps. And then let's add the head. So the head is going to circle around as if you have a crown on that's connected up to your arms, and change direction, adding the head. A little more spinal movement. Good. And then come in and just shake that out, let it go. And let's go with weights right away. So I'm using very light weights. Well, I'm going to use 6 pounds in each hand. And we're going to do this version of bending, straightening, press up and lower. With a bicep curl and then pressing overhead. So starting in parallel, I'm just moving away. I'm also going to shut the doors in a minute. We'll just plie and stretch, bending your knees, stretch, feeling the bones and muscles of your feet, spreading out your toes on the floor. We do our feet great injustice by shoving them in shoes all day long. So better to have bare feet more often, let your toes really spread out. Pressing up, pressing straight up, and come down. Up and come down. Look straight out in front of you as you're doing this. So no looking down, but looking out. And I'm kind of not really counting these. Let's do one more. I guess I'm going for around 6. I'm going to turn out the feet, knees over the toes, plie and stretch. So it's just a little bend, knees over your toes. Feet are turned out. Mine are just around a right angle, heels together, and then pressing up and coming down. 2, let's just stick this in 6s. 3, 4, breathing. 5, 6, and then come into parallel. Thinking, well, obviously our muscles are working, our fascia is moving, but really thinking about the bones doing the work. So the bones are working as well, right? We couldn't move if we didn't have bones. pressing up here, parallel, 1, 2, and the bones are really supportive, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so with these weights, right, we're having this, they're pulling down on the bones, they're pushing down on the bones, right? We're giving the inside of the bones, which have like some really dense material and then some really spongy looking material. And we're giving that whole system of tensegrity a chance to get stronger. All right, turning it out to a bigger second position, plie, knees over your toes, 1, 2, breathing, 3. Breathe as big as you need to, 4, 5, 6, pressing it up, 1, 2, 3. Seeing if you can get that balance on top, 4, 5, 6, and coming in. I'm just going to shut these doors. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, so our bones need to have these different forces on them, like pulling forces, pushing forces. And then also, if we add sort of spiraling movements, we're going to give them different pulls from the tissue, right? Different pulls and pushes as we shift our relationship with gravity, as we shift our bones' relationship with gravity, we're demanding different things from them, which is super healthy for them. If we want strong bones, we want to have them capable of adapting to lots of different situations, right? Not just that the pull is always happening in one way, like we always just do this, but we start to shift it around. So let's go with just, I'm just going with half and I'm going with the 3s. And I'm going to do like, it's kind of a karate punch where I'm going to have my hands on my hips, going to grab on, and I'm just going to spiral out. So punching out in front. You can add the breath. Punching into the sagittal dimension, right out in front of me. So if we start to add a good strong breath with that, we're going to become more coherent, more connected in our movement. 5 more, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to change it slightly. So just relax for a second. We're going to take it up on the angle. So I'll show you sideways. I'm still here, kind of in my horse stance. And the horse stance, like you're riding a horse. There's a big horse in there. Imagine it. And you're going to punch up and across. So from the front, I'm crossing my body, right? Punching up and across. Very specific. And from the side, it looks like this. In through your nose, out through your mouth. If it's really challenging for you, if you have too much weight, you're just going to go slower, right? You'll just take it slower so that you can move more clearly if the weight is too much for you. And we're going to take it down. Stick out your butt. So I'm really actively reaching with my tail, not kind of tucked under and defeated, but actively reaching it out and then opening up. 1, 2, big wingspan. 3, feet really strong. Arches of the feet strong. 5, 6, 7, get a little deeper if you can, stick out your butt more. 8, 9, 10. Take your hands on your hips. Hands are going to keep coming back to your hips. Elbows back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reach with your tail. 7, 8, 9, 10. And come in. Circles with the shoulders. Big circles. Again, mobilizing the scapula on the back of your body. So we could say that the movement of the scapula is massaging your rib cage. Your rib cage is massaging your lungs and heart. And then change direction, up and over. My hands are really loose. Fingers are just holding onto those weights. Wrists are long. Easy circles with the shoulders, right? Letting it ripple through. And then let's do one more thing here. So this is kind of related to something a little more subtle, and that is the cerebrospinal fluid, which is bathing our whole nervous system and our brain inside our spinal cord, inside our cranium. It's supporting it. So we don't, if we bang our head around, that fluid keeps us from our brain from banging against our cranium and getting injured. Also, there's more to this. It's nourishing our spinal cord. And it moves through us, it filters through our body about 3 or 4 times a day, right? So in that filtering, it's bringing nutrition, it's also eliminating waste. It's carrying oxygen, taking out CO2. So cerebrospinal fluid in there. Is it carrying oxygen? I don't know if that's really true. I think it is, but I could be untrue about that. So check my facts. But I know it's nourishing and detoxing. So we're going to, working with the cerebrospinal fluid, or just the imagination of the cerebrospinal fluid, we're going to be here. We're just going to slightly internally rotate and curl in, and then slightly externally rotate and open out. So it's a little arching curl. Exhale, hollow. Inhale, spiraling the hands open. So I'm kind of turning in, arching, and turning out. Turning in soft, open it up. We could also think that with this movement, we're just fluffing up the cushy, marshmallowy, cartilaginous discs between our vertebrae. Opening with the breath, closing with the breath. Inhale, open, exhale, close. So as we're doing these spirals, we're also kind of wringing the tissue in our body, right? So we're allowing the fluids in our body to renegotiate the space in there. All right, let's come down onto the floor and bring your weights with you. Okay, so coming down, let's sit in a cross-legged position, and hopefully you have a light weight for this. Like 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pounds. If you're a dude and you are used to doing more weights, or a woman who is used to doing more weights, or trans, anything you are is fine, but depending on what the musculature is like. So you don't want to push it too hard. This should feel fairly easy. So I'm just going to take one weight and I'm going to circle up, and then I'm going to open and look back. I'm using my other hand circling up, opening, and my arm is spiraling, right? I'm turning in and down, under, and then spiraling, opening, looking back. In and down, under, spiraling, opening, looking back. Spiraling, internal rotation, spiraling, external rotation. Spiraling, internal rotation, spiraling, external rotation. 2 more. Internal rotation and external rotation. Last one. Internal rotation and external rotation. And I will say that for me, using a 3 pound weight, and I hang upside down on a bar, 3 pound weight's kind of a lot. So you might want to, if it's too much, get rid of your weight. Use a can, use something that's like 1 pound or nothing at all. So spiraling in and spiraling out. Internal rotation and external rotation. Nice gradated rotation through your rotator cuff with this half arm circle. So we're doing a weighted half arm circle. Breathing. I'm really using exhaling and then inhaling, exhaling and then inhaling. Two more. Last one. Good, and release. So anytime we have like a weight and we're doing something out far away from our body, right? We're creating this very different relationship with the way that our arm interacts and interfaces with the rest of our body, with our tissues when we have that weightedness. Just be more careful. Just be mindful. Like, oh, is this too much? If it feels like we want to start cultivating a relationship with ourself that is intelligent, where we're listening to the wisdom of our own body and responding, not forcing it from the outside, like, yeah, I got to push it, push it, push it. Sometimes we want to do that, but most of the time we want to listen in and be mindful. If you're going to push it, keep listening. Don't override your body entirely. All right, over to the other side. Right, I think that that's one of the problems in our culture. We override our planet, we override our bodies, we override so much that is really intelligent, really full of wisdom. So non-dominant leg is in front. We're going to circle the whole way around, taking it to the side, reaching forward, over to the other side. Inhale, open. Also, the way we're moving our spine now, it's just slowing it down a little bit. Again, thinking into that cerebrospinal fluid, supporting the nervous system inside of the spinal cord, or around the spinal cord, inside of the vertebrae. Sideways, circling, 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 opening it up. Good. And then let's take it down to the floor, onto your back. And before we do anything else, let's circle the knees. So our femur head, long bone of our thigh, the femur, and the trochanters, greater and lesser trochanter up here, the big knobs, getting this movement in the hip socket, right? Circling around, hydrating up that joint, lubricating up your hip socket, and releasing your lower back as you're circling, right? Let your hands do the work. Change direction, breathing into it. And then let's lower the feet down to the floor, internally rotate. We're going to grab the weights again. You can use as many as you want. I'm going for just 6 pounds, holding both of my weights. If you have like 1 5-pound weight or a 4-pound weight, you could use one weight, or bigger, depending on your, just listen in for that. Circle it around. My knees are touching and my feet are turned in. So it's in a pigeon-toed and knock-kneed position. So I'm stabilizing my lower body a lot, circling around. Could have also called this class the arm circle. Letting that shape of a circle really mobilize around your body. Exhale up, inhale down. And then change direction other way. Filling up your lungs, allowing this to massage through the back of your body. So again, you probably can feel your shoulder blades. Think of yielding into the floor. So it's not a struggle with gravity, but you're in a symbiotic relationship. What does gravity get out of it? I don't know. It gets to keep us on the planet. Maybe it's not a symbiotic relationship, but I think it is. Let's come in, let that go. And then just turn your head from side to side. I guess the symbiosis is between the weights, your body, the floor, your position in reality right now. Letting your head and tail free up. So you're going to wag your tail and freeing up your spine, ringing your tail like a bell. So freedom in the spine, freedom in the spinal movement, sending a flow through your body. And it's kind of like it's C curving one way, then C curving the other way. All right, let's move the weights out of the way and get into our legs. So let's take the legs up to the ceiling and just circle your feet. If you're tighter, your knees can be bent, that's fine. Feeling out to the edges of your body, right? Equal opportunity for those little tiny bones in our toes and in our feet. There's a lot of bones in there. I feel like there's 26 bones. I could be wrong. In each foot. It might be more than that. Is 26 right? I don't know. I have my, what is it called? Fuzzy anatomy right now. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Now I have to sort of count through them. At any rate, there are a lot of bones. Most of the bones in our body are in our hands and feet. So we want to think of them as being strong also, right? That there's a fluidity. So let's get the hands and the feet going. You're going to peel back and then point through, like you're peeling a banana, back and through, back and through, and back and through. And then we're going to do another version. Let it go for a second. I'm just going to show you this way. You're going to grab and make a fist turning in, then wing out and spread. Fist going in with your toes, wing it out. Fists in, wing it out. Fists in, wing it out. So here we're spiraling again, right? Spirals, again, wringing out that tissue and demanding different things from the bones. Spread and fist and spread and shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, let it go. All right, coming back to our backs. So back to our backs, hands on the floor, legs up, big circles with the legs, big or small. So for me, big ones really feel good. If it's better for you to do smaller ones, go for it. If you're having popping and clicking in the joint, there's a couple of things you can think about. One, you can think about the leg really descending into the joint. So the leg is nestling into that joint. That's one way. The other thing is to think about your leg the exact opposite, really lengthening out of the joint. So for that popping and clicking problem, one of those things should work better, either really nestling the leg into the joint or lengthening the leg out of the joint. Couple more times. And you can really do whatever you want with your hands. If it hurts your back, put your hands under your butt. You can have your hands behind your head. Different arms make it a different exercise. Last one. Open it out. Bend one knee and bend the other knee. Bending, and you can kind of rock across your sacrum, rock across your lower back. So even, yeah, a lot of people as they age, older people often fall and they break their hip. In fact, my dad did. And he broke the top knob of his femur head right off. So like femur head is sitting there in the socket. There are two knobs. Broke the top outer knob, greater trochanter right off. Like, anyway, he did that because he climbed a ladder and fell on a concrete floor. Not that high. So, and he was 80. Was he 80 when that happened? Maybe he was 78. That really put like the end of his life into perspective, like boom, 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 shortly after, like just, it was bad, it was bad, it was bad. So one way to keep that integrity is to have these different demands on those joints. So let's open the feet wider, internally rotate so that I have to say my dad was very, very lazy physically when he got older. He did not want to move. And I used to just beg him to get some exercise, then he wouldn't. So what can you do? Anyway, so we want to make sure that we're just strengthening up, especially those parts like these upper knobs, our greater trochanter, our femurs. All right, let's press up and circle. Again, we're mobilizing that joint, right? We're demanding things of that ball and socket joint. When we're making those demands, we are building the integrity of the bones, but also the joints, right? Change direction. There's a fluid in our joints called synovial fluid, and it's like a lubricant, WD-40 of the joints. So as we move, we stimulate the spreading. It's like we're slathering it on inside the joint because we're mobilizing. Good, coming as high as you can. Let's take your arms up over your head. We're just gonna make arm circles here. So pelvis is high, circling your arms around. Of course, my weights are all over in the way. Change the direction. Feel into your upper traps. So up here, and see if you can release tension as you're moving through. So you're not trying to add tension in the shoulders. You're letting the arms move. Good. And then come in, slowly roll it down through your spine, all the way down to the bottom. When you get to the bottom, you're going to arch your back. So you're creating space under your waist. And let's just rock that little arch for a minute. So a little teeny rock, you can push with your feet. Try to release your head and neck, relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Maybe take a hum in there. Big inhale and relax your neck. Inhale back in, so you're getting that nitric oxide that's created in the turbines of your nose back into your lungs, where then it will move into your blood system and be an antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, helping the endothelium, the linings of your heart and your vascular system, right? So that is what we want. So let's do it again. You're going to hum out and then inhale through your nose. Let's do it like 2 more times. Make the hum last as long as it feels good. It's also going to be signaling your vagus nerve that you can downregulate and get a little calmer. And you can rock with that. Rock like a baby in your grandma's arms. Inhaling through your nose. Inhale back in. Go ahead and have a whole party in your body. So the rocking can be very free flow, go in any direction. Let it go. And let's take a happy baby from there. So grabbing on, opening up, knees towards your armpits if that feels good. Wiggle around. Let this massage out your back. Stretching. So stretching also puts a different pull on the bones, right? So as I'm stretching, like the insertion of my hamstring up into my sit bone is going to create another tensile relationship as I move around. Healthy for the bones, healthy for the tissue. But it's going to be better to stretch when there's already some blood flow, like when we've already used our muscles a little bit. Like stretching cold should be very gentle stretching, not going for big stretching. But if you're warm, like we've done these lifts, so our hamstrings have worked a little bit, then it's a good time to go a little bit more in the stretch. Breathing into it. Happy baby, your baby, like it's happy. So let it be a happy baby that is moving around in happy baby ways. What does that even mean? And let's take that into a roll forward and backward. So even, shifting our weight through gravity like this, as I'm rolling across my back and I'm on the floor, I'm in a very different position than if I was seated or standing up. So even by moving through my spine in this way, I am improving the integrity of the fascia in my back, and in turn also the integrity of the bones in my spine, my shoulders, my rib cage. And let's flip that around and come onto hands and knees. Right, so we've just shifted the whole relationship to gravity. We were on our backs, now we're facing down. From here, let's go with a cat-cow, curling the toes under, bending your elbows, pulling with your hands on the floor. So if I really pull, I can move my mat. So I'm not going to pull quite that much, but you want to like create that pulling, and my butt is reaching out in the opposite direction. And then I'm going to push and scoop, scooping up into my belly, into my guts. I can exhale out and scoop even more. Breathing and opening. So it's not just going to be one breath because we're taking our time here. You may have a couple breaths in each position, but at some point when you come up into this dome, really try to release your breath and really scoop your belly up and in. So going back and forth a few times, exaggerating it, right? Taking things a little deeper, if that feels okay. Good. And then let's come to neutral. Taking one leg out behind you, straight out behind you, circles with the leg. If you feel like this is easy, you're making a nice circle back there, take the opposite arm off the floor. And then you're going to change the direction in the back. Again, we're working with the integrity of that joint, that hip socket, but we're also strengthening the back of the body, and the core too, and bring it in. But don't think of like, sometimes people are like, squeeze your core. Don't think of it like you have to work harder. Let your body just do what it does. Find your alignment and move in that place. All right, other leg is out, circles, get the circle started, find their roundness, and then take the opposite arm off the floor. Long spine. And change direction in the back. And then release it down. Let's take the elbows down to the floor, leg out behind you. We're going to lift it up, carry it to the side, lower down, sideways, behind you, down, back to the side and down, up to the back and down. Reach it out, long leg, side, down, up to the back, down, up to the side, down. And I am coming up off of that hand so I can get my leg up higher. It's up to you. Up off of that elbow, I mean. Last one. Hello, butt. Let's take a break before we do the other side, just relaxing for a second. Take it down into your child's pose. Shift your butt into the hip that was working. Well, it'll be the standing leg hip. And then walk your arms the other way, a little stretch, and come back in. Uh-oh, I hear something bad going on in the other room. Hold on. I know it's one of my cats. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know how he does it. All right, so other side. That was a nice long break. Other leg, up, carry it to the side and down, up to the back, down, up to the side, down, up, back, down, up to the side, down, up. Reach, really reach as high as you can at each of those. So you're actively lift, 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 and lower. Up to the side, down, up, back, down. Last one. And come down. Take your tail back, soften, just shift side to side with your hips. And then roll it up. Let's take it into a downward dog. Walk through your feet, stretching to the back of your body. It's okay. And then lift your heels high, scoop your belly in, round your spine, roll it forward into a plank. Find your plank, drop your head, push with your arms, roll it up to the ceiling, lower your heels. Heels lift high, scoop your belly in, round, roll it forward. Find the long plank, drop your head, roll it up to the ceiling, lower your heels. Heels high, belly in, scoop, round, roll it forward. Find it, drop your head, roll it up, lower your heels. One more. This one, we're going to come all the way into the up dog. Go over your feet. You can drop your knees. Open and lift. Maybe look around. Curl your toes back under, push it back to your downward dog. Take a break for a second, adjust your outfit if necessary. All right, I'm gonna tuck in my shirt so that we can do one more thing up there. Taking your one leg as high as it can go, we're gonna take the knee into your chest. Inhale, reach it out and up, knee to your shoulder. Inhale, reach it out and up, cross it under, opposite elbow. Inhale, lift and lower that leg down, switching to the other side as high as you can go. Bring your knee into your chest. Inhale, reach it up, cross it under to your elbow. Inhale, lift, out to your shoulder. Inhale, up, lower down. Back to the first leg. We're just gonna pulse it up there, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch as high as it can go, pulsing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and take it down. Grab onto your fingers, pull outward. So if your fingers let go, your elbows would shoot open, but you're not going to let go. Drop the shoulders, turn your head from side to side. Relax your neck and jaw. Big spiral. Then spiral your body. And then you're going to push out, bring it in, back of the hands to the ceiling. Bring it in, push it out, bring it in, back of the hands to the ceiling. In, push, in, up, down. All this time, I'm still trying to pull my fingers apart, but I'm squeezing them together. Let it open out. Circles again with your shoulders. And let's do this mobility exercise from a forearm plank. So it's going to be forearm plank. Take this in whatever way works for you. You can make it easier or harder. Well, I'm probably going to be doing the hard version, but I'll feel free to put your knees down if you need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here in your forearm plank. You're going to cross one leg under. You can put that knee down if you need to. So this is the easier version. Coming back and in. The easier version, you put your knee down, the top leg goes over and comes back, and you come in. The harder version, you don't put your knee down. You just do this sideways walk and then come in. So either one. Anytime we shift our relationship with gravity and then demand more shifts spatially, we're going to be working that tissue and the bone in a much more three-dimensional way, right? So I'm here, I'm facing down, and now I'm sideways, facing the floor, facing the side of the room, right? So that's shifting your relationship with gravity a lot. Last one, bring it in. Come all the way down, bend your knees, rock from side to side, wag your tail. So that's mobility training, right? We're moving our body through different patterns. There can be more tension in it or less, like it could be harder or easier. Let's take the arms out. You're going to spiral, reach your leg across. So just twisting a little deeper. Yeah, one of my vertebrae just adjusted. And then come in. Let's do regular old Pilates swimming. So it's just paddling away up the opposite arm to leg. And you're going to do a pumping breath. So it's a big sniff through your nose, big huff and puff out through your mouth. So you're firing up your diaphragm in the movement in a very active way. Breathe big, breathe loud. Off we go. Inhale the whole thing up, open out into an X, Float it like you're flying in a cloud. Spacious body. Flying, opening. Connect your hands to the floor, lower your legs, arch up, look up, and then release. Take it into a child's pose, let go. Melt and soften. Shift from side to side, looking under one armpit and then the other. So you're spiraling in your spine. From your head to your tail, just a little bit. But again, a nod to the cerebrospinal fluid. Nourishing our spinal cord, nourishing our nervous system. And then coming in, shift your weight back, roll it up through your spine. I just need to check the time. I have to take one of my cars in to the, it sounds like I have a lot. Between three of us, we use 2 cars. But one of the cars needs to go to the mechanic today. So I need to get off of this in a few minutes. So let's just do a hip stretch and then we'll finish it off. Coming in and let's do this one. Let's do one leg out in front of you, one leg crossing over, flex that foot, sit up tall and look around, drawing your knee in towards you as you spiral. You could go to the other side of it if that feels good to you with your elbow, like this version, whatever feels right. Unscramble, change legs. Spiraling in on the other side. Big breathing or small breathing. Breathe exactly as much as you need to breathe. And coming back in, give it a little shake. Let's do a forward fold. Walk your butt from side to side, take it down. Breathe down into your belly. Or let your diaphragm push down into your organs, another way of putting that. Opening up your lower back. Allow the breath to create space in your body, and then you can relax into that space. And we'll do one more. This time your knee is just going to be over the other knee, and we're going to take it forward and down. Breathing into that. Big breathing. And then coming up, unscrambling, bang it out, rotate in and out, cross the other leg over, take it down. And then unscramble, give it a bang, slide your feet underneath you, open your feet wide. Let's internally rotate. So your toes are going to turn in, you're going to fold forward there. You may feel the stretch up the outside of your calves, peroneal stretch. If you don't, you can try bending your knees a little bit. So pigeon-toed, toes turned in, bending and stretching there. Again, we're demanding something different of the tissue, right, in this internal rotation, as opposed to being here parallel or turned out. Give it that little bit of turn in, let the tissue ring in, which is then going to be affecting your bones because it's pulling on them, it's connected to them. And then come into center parallel, shift from side to side, ring your body like a bell, rippling from tail to head, exaggerate the movement so it gets a little bit bigger, side, side. And then come in, roll it up. Just give yourself a second to adjust to being vertical. Shake it out, shake it out. Relax your tongue. Relax your neck, relax your throat. Open it up. Shake, shake, shake to come down. And again, open, fill up. Shake, shake, shake down. One more. Open it up. Shake, 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 shake. So all of these exercises, like when we're doing the humming, relaxing our neck and tongue, releasing in here, our mouth health is a good indicator of what's going on in the rest of our body, right? So we want to have like expression within our mouth. Like we've been taught to really not say things a lot often, right? Hold it in, let it go, let it have some freedom so that your mouth isn't like holding these weird little patterns of tension, right? Tongues have freedom. And when we're doing those humming and those strong breaths, we're demanding more of our face, right? And that's going to bring health, fluidity, energy into the tissues in our face, in our throat, in our tongues, as well as our breathing. So all of that stuff, it seems like, oh, why are we doing this? What does it mean? It means a lot. All of these, especially more subtle, not very subtle, but still subtle exercises have a huge benefit on our health. So really lean into those. All right, people in TV land, thank you for being there. I see there is a person watching. Wow, excellent. I will be here again on Saturday at 9:30, hopefully, because I'm actually going to be in the city. So I'm going to teach, but I might just record it and upload later because I don't have internet in my apartment. What?
Oh.
No.